My name is John Busayo Timlola, and you're welcome back to my channel. I've actually looked at different sources in which I can actually accommodate different exercise on how we can learn Python. I mean the basics of Python. So I actually come across this book, which is it 100 exercise on Python. So I find it so useful and so good to learn Python. So I'll take my time to accumulate the different exercise on the in the textbook. So I'm going to start with the first question in the textbook. So that I think the first question in the textbook is actually based on the basis of the knowledge. I mean, basis of Python. I mean the little knowledge we need to have before we could actually move dive into Python. So if you can see here, I've actually downloaded that's my coding environment. This is PyCharm. I'm actually using PyCharm for my environment. If you actually notice in my past lessons, I'll be using PyCharm. So it's kind of easy to set up. I mean, the setup is kind of very easy. All you need to do is download your Python into your system on your system and download PyCharm, install it. The wizard will actually automatically detect the Python. So that is actually how to. That's actually in terms of uh, setup, downloading, and setting up your environment. So without wasting our time, I want us to look at the first exercise. The first exercise asks us to. He said, ask the user to enter their first name and display the output message. Hello, your first name. Now, we can see that I think the first thing we need to know when we are diving into a programming language is one that's variable. So I think this exercise is based on variable. They actually want us to know more about how we can create a variable, how we can use a variable, how we can actually impute. How we can give a value to a variable. So without wasting our time, this challenge, because it's actually a challenge in this because this question is actually these all these questions are challenges in which we want to look at, and I think that we actually hate our knowledge in Python. So now let's dive into it. He said we should let's read it very well so that we can get more knowledge on it, on the problem we want to solve. He said ask the user's first name and display the output message hello first name. Now you can see that here we need something which is very important to this problem, which is variable. I've mentioned it the other time is variable. So here I'm going to create a variable. So don't forget, when you are creating a variable, you have to name the variable pertaining to what you actually want to work with. For example, if I want to create a variable that we actually house, like the names of students, what do you think I'm going to name it? That will be what? That will be student what? That will be student's name. Don't forget, we have different ways, different methods in naming our variable. So you can actually check my past tutorial on how we can name variables, how to name variables, how to create the variable, and how even to consume, use variables. Do you understand? So here we don't actually need the student name. We actually what we actually need. The question says we should create a variable. We should create variable that actually asks the user. Now another thing, asking the user to enter their first name. Now there, if I create a variable, first let me create the variable first name. First name here. Now let me use this method so that you can actually see what I'm actually doing very well. So here he said first name. Now first name is the variable, that is the variable name, the name we are giving to our variable. Now the question also says we should ask the user. Now what the question is asking us is to do is we should request for an input from the user. Are you getting it? So that means we are using an imputing value, an imputing method to get a value from the user. So here I'm going to use an input. input. So this we actually accept an input from the user. So if I said an input, then what do I actually want to put inside the input? I want to put a string. Don't forget, under string, we said anything we found inside a quotation mark is what we know as string. Do you get it? It's what we actually know as string. So here I'm going to say enter your first enter your first name. Thank you. Enter your first name. So with this, whenever a user actually inputs something in this place as a string, and input, another property of an input is it gets something as a string. So here, if I actually get something as a string in this place, it will be automatically stored inside this first name variable. Thank you. So it will be stored inside this first name variable. So here, I've actually get the input from the user. Now, what do you think I want to do? I want to show out the response. Let's look at the question. Let's look at the question very well. It said ask the user for their first name. I think we have done that. Now the next thing is display the output. And how do we display output in Python? We display output with print. Print. Are you getting it? We display output with print. So here, if I say print, now if I say print hello, he said we should say hello, then the first name. So I'm going to say hello, hello. I think let me write it with lowercase. That's hello, hello. Thank you. Then the next thing is I'm going to write a comma. That is, it's going to separate the string from a variable, because here I'm not actually saying, for example, if the user first name is Kikelomo, or let me say if the username if the user first name is Rachel, I won't actually I won't actually have to bother myself in hard coding the names in this place. What I mean is, I don't need to say Kike Lomo or as a string. Okay, let me say, or as a string like this, Kike, Kike, Kike Lomo. No, we are not actually hard coding something here. We actually want to get the user first name. I get it. So here, and how am I going to do that? Okay, let me do it here. Let me do it here. That is, anything the user actually input in this place will actually be displayed here, and how will be stored inside the first name. So I'm going to write, instead of writing the username now, I'm going to write first name. Thank you. What you can see here is actually throwing an error. Are you getting it? It's actually throwing an error to me. It's actually yelling. Oh, why? What happened? So what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to separate. There will be a separator between this string and this variable name. Are you getting it? So this is a string and this is a variable. So I'm going to use a comma, something like a comma in this place. Now, I think that actually takes the error, drives the error away. Now you can see that I don't have error here because one, this is a string and this is a variable name. Now let's look at it technically now. So it says print hello, comma, then the first name. So if eventually the user actually inputs something like Femi, Shola in this feed, it will actually be stored inside this variable. Then it will be displayed outside. It will be displayed at the first name inside our print function in this place. So let's run it. Let's run it. So if we run it, it's going to ask us, thank you. It's going to look at this place. It's going to ask me enter your name. Then this enter your name is actually coming from this what string, that is from this input. Do you get it? Now you can see what the essence of an input is actually extracting, getting response from what, from the user. So from here, I'm going to say my name is Rachel, or yeah, let me say my name is Rachel. Thank you. Is that right? Thank you. If I say enter, then now if I press enter, it actually gives me hello Rachel. Now this is a greeting. Now you can see I'm actually not actually encoding the value there. The value is actually coming directly from the user. So if I actually run it again, let me try and run it again. My name is John. My name is John. Let me enter. Now, can you see it said hello John? Are you getting it? Hello, John. How are you? Now, if you want to add more functionality to this, if you want to add more to this, you can just say hello, comma. Then we can add a greeting, which is something like, "How are you? How how are you? How are you?" I love greeting people. So if I actually run this, It's going to ask me now. It's running again. Thank you. What is your enter your name? My name is Femi. My name is Femi. Thank you. Hello, Femi. How are you? Do you get it? You see how simple it is. Now let's read that. Let's read the question again. The question says, ask the user to enter their first name. So guys, this is the second question, which says ask the user first name and ask for their surname and display the output hello first name surname. And you can see here, I think this question still looks as just as the same thing as the first one, but that first one we were looking at first name, but here we are looking at two things, two variable, which is the first name and the username, then which we are going to display the output hello first name and surname. So now let's go to our part time, our environment. So here, don't forget what I explained the other time. The other time I said we have first name. If we want to actually where we actually make it of the first name, I said whenever we want to get an input, whenever we want to get a response from the user, we make use of an input. And also mention that whenever you are creating a variable, let your variable names pertain, as in let it have a close meaning to what you actually want to, to the meaning or what you actually want to request from the user. For example, the first one, which is first name, so I will have to name the variable first name. Thank you, first name. Followed by input because I actually want to request a data from the user. I'm going to say enter enter your what enter your first enter your first name. Thank you. Enter your first name. Let's put it like this. Enter your first name. Thank you. Now that's the first data we are requesting from the user. Now the second one is the surname. Thank you. We have followed by input. Now we have a string here which says enter your what enter your name. Now we are requesting the surname from the user. Enter your surname. Thank you. Now we have two variable here and we are requesting for two response, these two answer from the user here. Don't forget when the user input a value in this place, in this field, it will actually be stored inside this variable called first name. Also the same thing as if the user actually give a response to this input value, it will actually be stored inside a variable called surname. Thank you. So now that's I think that's the first step in our question. Let's take the question again. It says ask for the user's name. It says ask for the user's first name and ask for their surname and display the output hello first name then surname. Do you get it? So I think we can actually do that. Now the next step will be to print out, and don't forget I said when in Python, whenever you want to print out a value you use print. You use the print keyword. So here I'm going to say print then follow by, now I would have said hello. I would have said hello here. Why? Because in Python, almost these programming languages, whenever we want to write a string, we put it in a quotation mark. I think that I make mention of that in the first question. So hello is actually a string. We can actually write something like hello like this only if hello is a variable. Please don't forget that. So here I'm not going to write hello in this manner. So it will actually be when I'm enclosing it with a quotation mark. So it will actually be like look like this. That is hello, then followed by comma, followed by the first name. Now, don't forget the value that is actually being inputted inside this input will actually be stored inside the first name. I think I make mention of that in the first question. So here that will be hello, then followed by first name. Thank you. This is for first name, then comma, followed by the surname. Thank you. Now, if you run our program, we are going to see hello, then the first name of the user first name and their surname. So if I run this program, it's going to ask me enter your first name. So here, I'm actually going to enter my first name. My first name is John. Thank you. Thank you. So my surname, I'm not going to give a space there. Let me say Busayo. Let me say Busayo. Thank you. Yeah, it gives me an output which says, "Hello, John Busayo." You get it? Which says, "Hello, John Busayo." Now, I actually want to look. Let's take a look at this step. Or if we don't actually write the print code, I mean print program like this, we can actually write it like print, then followed by the quotation mark, then we write hello, hello, then followed by plus. Now here plus is a concatenating operator, that is it can actually be an additional operator, that is this arithmetic operator in number, but in string, when we are using it with string, it actually helps us to add two values together, that is place them side by side. Don't worry, I'm going to explain that more when we get to number. So here, if I say hello, followed by the first name, then followed by plus sign, that's followed by what surname. So let's see both of them. Let's see response. What is going to give me? So here I'm going to say print. Let me run the program once again. So here I'm going to have John followed by Busayo, followed by Busayo. That will give me hello John Busayo. Are you getting it? That's this response is actually coming from this print, from this output. Please, do you get it? So this why about this response? Why this response is actually coming from this print value. So that means here whenever we are using a concatenation, that's this operator, that's this additional operator, it will actually place the value side by side without giving any space. But I can actually achieve this. I made this output with the same clause, but here I'm going to add an empty string. Yeah, I'm going to add an empty string in front of it. So it will just be like plus empty string, then come again as plus. Here, I'm going to add an empty string, open it here, then plus. Yeah, let me run this. So if we run this here, if I write John King as John, enter, we have Busayo, John Busayo. Thank you. Here we actually achieved the same output. But I think this actually give us a shorter way of writing it, instead of us adding an empty string to what to our value. So I think the second question has been answered. So let's read it again. Maybe we actually achieve our goal. Yeah, we said ask the user's first name, and then ask their surname, and display the output message hello, first name, then followed by this surname. So I think by this we have actually achieved we've solved the second question. So now we actually moving to the third question, still under the basic principle, or sorry, basic knowledge on Python, variable, data types, and every other stuff we need to know in this. Maybe let me just say fundamental knowledge on Python. Now, without wasting our time, we have the third question. The third question says, write code that will display the joke. What do you bear? What do you call a bear with no teeth? And on the next line, display the answer, a gummy bear. Try to create it using only one line of what? Only one line of code. That is here we're actually trying to test our knowledge on string. Yes. Here we are, yeah, they're actually testing our knowledge on string. That is, how can we actually relate or write how we can write string or uh, in a single line, in which it will actually display in a double line, because we have different ways we can actually manipulate our string. So that's what this question is actually bringing to us. That is, it's actually testing our knowledge string, knowledge on string. So now, without wasting our time, so I'm going to do that. Now, before that, I actually want to show you something that's basic, that's still part of basic knowledge. What you need to know about Python. We call that comment. Comment. What's comment? Comments on a basic knowledge is maybe actually have a code, but I don't want to take away that code. You can actually take it out. Here is actually not responding to the run command. Not actually running responding to the run command, and it's actually acting as if it's not on my code. I get on my script. Actually, it's there, but it's not actually active. You understand? So I think that's for now. We can also use comments to give extra meaning, that is extra words to our block of code. Are you getting it? So yeah, that's what I just want to do to this. So yeah, I'm just going to highlight when you want to comment. Well, I think the fastest way is just highlight it, then you click on control forward slash. So I'm gonna click on control then forward slash. Thank you. So that's it. So instead of me adding arch, because whenever you want to comment a line in a line, just a line of code in Python, you can just add a slash in front of it. I get it. So here, let's go. Let's move to the third question. Don't forget, the third question says, let's read that again. If you have actually forget, it says, write code that will display the joke. What do you call a bear with no teeth? And on the next line, display the answer, a gummy bear. Then now the funny thing is they say we should try to create it using just one line of code. Can you see? Just one line of code. So here I'm going to do that. So here that's what I'm going to say. Don't forget what I used to tell you, that whenever you want to do something that pertains to output in Python, we use print. We use print. So here I'm going to say print. Don't forget we also writing string. We have to so writing string. So all this sentence is just a string. So here I'm going to say string. Are you getting it? So I'm going to put a quotation mark. So where I'm going to say what do you what do you call a bear? What do you call a bear with no what? With no teeth? It reminds me of something. What do you call a bear with no teeth? I guess we have that. That is, let me put a question mark because it's a question. Now, before that, let me run this. So by running this, it actually gives me the response. That is, what do you call a bear with no teeth at as the output? Now, the question still remains how can we actually output writing just a line of code then putting it in different line. So we actually do that. We can actually achieve that by writing a by putting this notation that's backward slash that's yep as backward slash then followed by hen. Yeah, thank you. Followed by hen. Now followed by the response, what we actually want to write in the second line. So what do we actually want to write? That's a what? A gummy. Is it gummy? Is it gummy or gummy? A gummy what? A gummy bear. So that's a gummy bear. So thank you for by the this exclamation. So if you run this, let's try to run it. If you run it, we are going to have thank you. That's it. That is, what do you call a bear with no teeth? Now, can you see this one? This notation means neon line. That is writing an item in what? Getting an item to be what displayed in what? In the neon line. Now, can you see that we actually write just one of code in just one line? Now we are having it in what? In a double. We are getting a response in a double line. So it should actually start from the beginning, from the start. I think I actually had an extra space there. Let me try to remove it, then run it again. Thank you. Can you see it actually starts from this line? So you can that actually shows you that all this space also counts as what? As a string. It also counts as a string. An empty space also counts as a string. So now I think that's all for that for question 3. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is so simple. See how small it is. It says, ask the user to enter two numbers, just two numbers, then add them together and display the answer as the total is answer. Now, what they actually want us to do here is still the same thing. Sorry, what they want us to do there is still the same thing as what they calling it as writing, creating variable, then making use of the content inside the variable. So here, I want to comment this one out. Now let's move to the next question. He said we should write, that is, we should get to ask the user two numbers. We should actually ask the user for two numbers. Now here we're going to ask the user for the two number. Here I'm going to call it number one, or should I call first number or second number? Let's just make it of number one. You understand? Number one equal to what? Now, what do you want to do? Normally, it should be input, input. Then let's just say enter, enter the first, enter the first what? Enter the first number. Thank you. Enter the first number. Now let's go to the second one. That's what? That's number two, right? That's number two. So it should be something like input, then followed by what? This quotation mark. So we have enter the second, enter the second what? Enter the second number. Thank you. Enter the second number. So here we have this first number and we have the second number. Actually, we are actually doing the right thing, but we are little we are little wrong. Is it little wrong? Sorry, we are very, very wrong. Yeah, we have, and we're actually on the way. Let me put it like that. We're actually on the way. But I want us to run this. It will actually give us an error. So yeah. I want you to see the error before we actually do the right thing. So what the question says is, the question says then add them together and display the answer as the total is answer. So don't forget how we used to do that. So let's say addition. I want to add the two numbers together. That is what I actually want to do is I want to say number one, then add it together. That's plus what? Plus number two. So we can actually add them together like this, but it will be better if we actually put the addition inside another variable. So let me call the name of the variable addition. Let me just call it addition, or what should I call it? Let me call it result. Yeah, I think they said answer. Yeah, answer. Answer. Yeah, thank you. Answer equals to this. So this is our answer. That is the addition of number one and number two. So now, how do we display our response? So let me just print. Okay, how do we display our response? Let's go there. Let's just follow the question. They said we should say the question says display the answer as the total is answer. Thank you. So here we are going to come here and print. I'm going to say print. Thank you. The total. Thank you. Is the total is, then followed by our comma. Don't forget, why are we writing comma here? Because we actually want to put a variable in front of this word, in front of this string. So I'm going to say comma. Thank you. Then followed by the name of our variable, which is what? Which is answer. Now, if we try to run this, let's try to run this. Then let me shift this thing up. Let me put this thing up a little bit. Thank you. So that you can see very well. So if I run this, let me try to run it. It requests for the first number. Let me say 21. Thank you. Then plus. Okay. Before running it, let me actually tell you something. It will actually run. It will give us one funny response. Yes, it will actually give us one funny response. That is, don't forget, when we do something, I think, is it question one or question two? Thank you. When we use this addition sign here, we said it actually plays the content side by side. Are you getting it? So whatever we get from this number one and whatever we get in number two, it will place them side by side. So yeah, let's run it and let's see what it's going to give us. I said 21, right? Then question number two is 32. Now, what do we have? Can you see? Do you see what I said? That I said 21 and 32. It's not an addition, it's just putting them, I mean, the two variable side by side, the two response, what the two number side by side. Can you see we have 21, we have 21, and we also have 32. So that's not actually our addition. Now that actually works like that. It works for string. But what about if we here now? Let's come, guys. Let's come here. Let's come to this place. What about if we actually put something like if we put something like instead of addition, if I put something like division. Thank you. If I put something like division here, let me divide it. So let me run, I'm going to run it. It's going to ask for the first question, the first number, let me say 10. Now let me divide 10 by 2. So that will be 10. Thank you. The second number will be 2. Now see the what are you calling it? The error it actually brings to us, give us. It says type error. Look at it very well. Now it said type error, unsupported operand. That is the type of what that is we're actually using this operand, which is division, for what? For string and what? Look at it. For string and what? And string. That is what we are actually doing here is wrong. We should not be dividing string. We can't actually divide string by a string. We can only divide a number by a number. Do you understand? So how can we solve this problem? Thank you. We can actually solve this problem by actually casting. We call it casting in Python. By casting the response here, we can actually cast it from here or directly cast it from here. That is, we can actually convert. Casting means conversion of what? Conversion of one data type to another data type. Do you get what I'm trying to say here? That is, I'm trying to convert a data type either from a string to a number, or I can also convert a number to a string. Do you understand? So here, what I can actually do here is I can actually cast that it converts this string. Don't forget the other time I said um to convert to cast is to when you are requesting for a number, when you are requesting a response from the user, we actually get a string. Yes, we actually get a string. That's why this input is giving us a string. So we need it's our responsibility to actually convert that string to a number. So here I can actually cast it. I can actually convert it from in this place by saying by using int. Thank you. By then wrap it with what? Wrap it a with a bracket. Are you getting it? So let me do it for this one so that you can see it very well. So here let me cut this one. Then I'm going to say int, then followed by this bracket. Then I'm going to paste what I actually cut the other time. Let me do that again so that you guys can see very well. So I have int. Int means integer. So I'm actually converting this string to an integer. Do you get it? So here, if I said int, then followed by this bracket. So here, followed by input, then I can now write my input. So followed by the content I actually want to see inside the input value. So I have enter the what? Sorry, enter the second, enter the second number. Thank you. Enter the second number. So it can actually be done like this, or I can actually directly here this one I can actually directly cast this number from this place. So by just saying something like integer, thank you, then here then put number, thank you, number one inside it. Are you getting it? Or putting casting it in this place, that's input, then followed by this bracket, then putting number two inside it. So yeah, in as much I've actually cast it in this place, I can just remove this one. Let me remove this one. Thank you. Let me remove this one so that we not. Let me remove this one. It's not necessary. So now, if I actually let me run this value. Let me run it again. So it's going to give me, if I said 10, the first number is 10, then the second number is 2. Then can you see it gives me the right answer, which is what? It says the total is what? Is 5. Are you getting it? Now you see that now I actually have a number. Now that's not our question. Our question says addition, not division. So here I'm going to come here and return this as what? As plus, as addition. So here let me run the question, let me run the script again. Now I have the first number is okay. Let me use the previous number I used the other time. That's 21. Then the second number is what, 30. So if I run this one now, you can see that it gives me the addition of the first number and what, and the addition of the second number. Do you get it? Of the addition of the first number, sorry, the addition of the first number and the second number. So you can see that when we have 21 and 30 together, it gives us 51. So that's how sweet and how good and how interesting Python is. You understand? So I think you should start falling in love with with Python by now. So now let's move to question 5. So I think you actually understand question 4, question 1, question 2, question 3, and question 4. Please, if you have any other question, if you have any question you actually want to ask me, please you can actually drop it at the comment section. Thank you. So here let's move to the question 5. So here I have the question 5 says, ask the user to enter three numbers. Yeah, we are asking the user to enter three numbers. Then it says, it follows and says, add add together the first two numbers and multiply this total and multiply this total by the third number. I think something is actually smelling nice in this place. He said we should have the ask the user for three number. Then add the first two numbers together. Thank you. Then the results. Then we are going to divide it. We are going to multiply the result by the third number. That's cool. So then he said, after that, he said, display. Thank you. Let me enlarge it very well so you can see. He said, display the answer as the answer is answer. So I think it actually looks like what we've actually done the other time. So without wasting our time, we can still make use of this one. That's question 4. So all we need to do is just add another number. That will be number 3. So I'm going to say number 3, take it, which will stand as what, have a variable name for what, for the third number. So I'm going to have number 3 equal to, yeah, so I'm going to say number 3 equal to, so here I'm going to cast this one directly from the starting point. So I'm going to say input, sorry, int, then followed by this. So inside the int, I'm going to have input, then followed by this quotation mark. So I'm going to say enter the what? Enter the third number. Enter the third number. Thank you. So here I'm requesting for three number from my user. The first number and the second number will be multiplied together. So here I'm going to say multiplication. Let me just put it like that. So let me do it step by step for you so that you can understand it. So I'm going to say multiply. Let me just say multiply. Multiply. Thank you. Multiply equal to, now this what we actually want to do is we want to multiply the first and the second number together. So I'm going to, let me just copy this one, copy and paste it in this place. Or let me just do it, don't worry. Let me take it like this, int, then followed by number 1, then multiply. Don't forget we want, that's star, that's multiply by what, as int, then followed by what, that's number 2. Thank you. Now, don't forget the response. Now, here, don't forget, here we actually have multiplied to be what? That is the first number multiplied by the second number. You get it? Now, their response, I mean, the answer for the, I mean, yeah, that would be the answer for the yeah, that now the response we get from this place will be stored inside with the variable called multiply. Don't forget the question says we should, we said add together the first two numbers and multiply this total by the third number. That's what we actually want to do here. That is, we are going to multiply the uh the multiplication of number 1 and number 2 by what, by the third number. So it will be multiply. Okay, multiply, I'm coming. Oh, sorry. He said hard. Sorry. Here is not multiply. We are going to hard. We are going to hard. Sorry for that mistake. It will not be multiply. It will be addition. Let me just put it as addition. Let me put it as addition. Addition. Thank you. Addition. Addition equals to integer one, that is number one, and what? And plus what? Plus number two. Now let's take multiply. Multiply will actually be like something like this. So multiply will actually be equal to the response, that is the answer of, well, the answer in which we get from number one, adding number one and number two together. We have actually stored it inside this variable called addition. So now what we actually want to do is we want to take the response, that is the result, will now be, our multiply will now be addition divided by the third number. Do you get it? Now that is what we actually get from here by adding the first number and the second number together. We actually want to divide it, or multiply it, sorry, by what? By the third number. So here I'm going to say um addition, thank you, then multiply, thank you, multiply by number three, thank you, by number three. Don't forget, I don't actually convert this number three to integer. Why? Because I've already cast it in this place, that is at the initial point. So here I have my what are they calling it? I have my multiplication already. So that's, so here should I need to give this one multiply? Okay, I don't need to say multiply here. I just need to say answer. Thank you. I just need to say answer. Thank you. So that we have we have uniform response in this place. So if I say now the total is answer, it will actually what give me the what one. The process starts from adding the first number and the second number together, then multiply the response, the answer with what? With the third number. So here, let me run the question, let me run the script again. So if I run it again, it will actually ask me for the first number. So the first number, let me say the first number is 10. The second number is 20. Now, it's actually requesting for the third number now. So let me say the third number, let it be 5. So here, let me run this thing. Let me, okay. Are we ready? Thank you. Then we have thank you. So the total is 150. Now let's do that manually. But that is, we have 10 plus 20. That will give us 30. You understand? Then 30 plus 15 will give us 150. Can you see that we are right? So that's how cool and how fast we can actually make use of our what? Of our program. And I think question five is being answered. Question five has been answered correctly. So we can actually move to the next one, which is question six. We can actually move to the next question, which is question six. So let's look at question six. Question six says, ask how many slices of pizza the user started with, and ask how many slices they have eaten. I think someone want to hit bread here. So it says, now work out how many slices they have left and display the answer in a user-friendly format. Thank you. I think it's already getting friendly, Seb. It says, ask how many slices of pizza the user started with. Thank you. So now let's start with that. So here, sorry, let's start with that. So here I'm going to have something like, let me comment this one out. Thank you. I'm going to take it out. Thank you. So here is actually requesting, you are actually requesting for numbers of pizza. So now don't forget, our variable will actually be numbers of pizza. That's what I actually said. That is, our variable name should actually pertain to what we actually requesting from the user, so that the user will actually know that what we actually have a clue about what we are actually requesting from them. You understand? So here I'm going to say total number total total pizza. Okay, let me say total number of pizza of, oh, it's too long. Let me just say total pizza. Let me just let's just keep it so simple like that. Total pizza is equal to, thank you. We actually want to request from them. So let's start with integer. It's a number. It's a number that will be integer, then followed by this. So here we have input. Then we can now say something like enter the total number of what, of pizza. En- Enter the total numbers of pizza here. Thank you. Now let's move to the question. It says ask how many slices of pizza the user started with, and ask how many. Now that one is done. That is total number of pizza is done. Now I said and ask how many slices they have eaten. That is how many slices the user have actually eaten. Now let's do that. Let's try to do that. So here now, what name that we do you think we can give to our variable? Let's say eating uh um um number of, no, let's just say eating pizza. Sorry, let's just keep it like that. Eating pizza is equal to integer. Don't forget that. Don't ever forget that. So we have input. Thank you. Followed by this string which says, I just put it like this. Enter the numbers of what, of pizza. Oh, let me just keep it like number. Thank you. Number of what, of pizza, of pizza, number of pigs, number of pigs. Should it be numbers or number of pizza? Okay, let's just keep it like number of pizza you have eaten. Thank you. You have eaten. Thank you. So here the user is actually returning the numbers of pizza they have eaten from the total pizza they have. So we have now the question now follows. It says work out how many slices they have eaten. Now it's a simple arithmetic. It's just a simple arithmetic. Here we have total slice of pizza. Now we actually want to we have we actually requesting the total number of pizza they have. So the next thing is to find out the numbers of pizza they have, what they have left. So do you understand? So what do we think we are going to do? So we can just say pizza left. Let's just say pizza left will be equal to, sorry, it will be equal to it will be equal to total, don't forget that will be total numbers of pizza minus, I get it. So here we are using this subtraction operator. Subtraction operator, we use it in numbers to subtract a value from another value. You get it? So we have total numbers of pizza, then minus what? Total, that minus the eating pizza. That's let's just put it like that. So here, this will give us the total numbers of pizza left. Do you understand? Left. Sorry, look at my left. Left. Thank you. So total number of pizzas left for them. Now, so here let's print it out. That's how we should print it out in a user-friendly manner. So let me say print print the 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 total number of pizza, the total number of pizza you have left you have left is, thank you. Now can you guess, before writing it, can you guess what I'm going to write? Yeah, if you actually guess right, the total number of pizza you have left with. Now the next thing I'm going to write will be then the name of the variable that is the pizza left. So that will be comma. Don't forget that comma. It will actually separate the string from the word variable. So if I have, then the next one will be the name of the variable. That will be pizza what, pizza left. Thank you. So if we run this, let's run it. We have, thank you. The first question it will ask me is, look at it. The first question it will ask me is enter the total number of pizza. So let me say, how many slices of pizza do we have? Let me say we have, let me say we have eight. Eight. Thank you. We have eight slices of pizza. Thank you. If you ask me again, enter the numbers of pizza you have eaten. Let me say we have eaten out of eight, we've eaten three. Now we want to know how many pizza left we have left. So now let me by pressing enter, we are going to this line of code. Look at it. This line of code is going to do the calculation for us and give us the numbers of what of pizza left. So if I press enter, thank you. Here we have we have this. So here the response is the total number of pizza you have left is now. Can you see? That is, if you subtract eight, if you subtract three from eight, it gives us what? It gives us five. Can you see? So I actually trust you guys that you guys are actually following and you are actually enjoying this challenge with me. So thank you guys. So yeah, let's move forward. Let's move forward. I think question six have been answered. So let's move forward to question seven. Question seven. We still have something to do. So we have question seven. Question seven says, ask the user. Question 7 says, ask the user for their name and their age. Thank you. It said, ask the user for their name and their age. Add 1 to their age and display the output. Name. Next birthday, you will be new age. So here we are going to have something like the name variable and the age variable and an addition of one to the what to the age variable, which will actually give us a new age. You understand? So let's get to it. So here I'm going to comment this one out, so we can actually move forward. So here this is it. So here we have this. So we have this, we have this, we have this. Thank you. Let me just shift all this one up. So here we have, let's say we should have name. We should request for the user's name. So I'm going to say username. Thank you. Let me just keep it like that. Username equal to, don't forget, we are not using integer here. We are just requesting for a name, which is a string from the user. So it will be input. Thank you. We can now say enter your name. Enter your name. Do you get it? That'll be enter your name. So the next thing we actually want to request from the user is their age. Then now this bring the old way for us. That is age. Let's give it a variable. Let's say age equal to. Now what do we need to do? Thank you. If you have guessed right, that means we need to start with integer because we are requesting for a number here. Provincially, we may not use an integer, that is, we may not even add an integer if only we are not carrying out an arithmetic operation on that number. On that age. But here we are carrying out an arithmetic operation on. So that will actually give us this. So we are going to write integer, thank you, followed by input. Input, then here we can now say enter your present your present age. Abi? Thank you. Your present age. Thank you. So here the user have actually entered their name. Now they have also entered their age. Don't forget it will be stored inside a variable called age. So now what we actually want to do is we want to add, because look, if you look at the question says add 1 to their age and display the total. Now we can actually give the total a variable what? A variable name, which is what? To new age. So here I'm going to say new age. Let me write it separately. So let me say new age will be equal to what? New age will be equal to age, that is the present age, which is age, plus what? Plus 1. Do you get it? Age plus 1. So that will actually give us the new age. So what we can actually print out is print. The question says we should print out name. That is the name the user actually inputs. That's username in our own case. That's name. Next birthday you will be this. So here I can actually write username. Thank you. That'll be username, then comma. Thank you. So we can now write next. Let me just put it next birthday. next best birthday, you will be you will be then comma what? That will be comma new age. You understand? So here it's just as if we are actually getting the username, then we are trying to tell them, come next year you are going to be this and this. You get it? So let's run it. If we run this program, it's going to give us, now it's going to ask us what is the user's name. Enter your name. So I'm going to say Femi. My name is Femi. Then the age. Femi is 28 years old. Now let's see what Femi will be in next year. Let's see. So can you see? It says Femi next year, next birthday, he will be 29, and that's right. That is next year. Femi will be what? Femi will be 29. So that's cool. We have. I think we've actually successfully answered that question. So let's move to the next question. I think that's question 8. So with that, question 8 says, please, if you have any question pertaining to what we have been doing, please don't hesitate to drop it on the comment section. I will take my time and answer you. Do you understand? So I think, but this one is still an elementary, but please, you still need to understand it very very well. What we have actually be looking at, what we have actually been looking at is how we can actually relate with our string, how we can actually manipulate string, write string, numbers, arithmetic operation, variables. Thank you. Requesting value from response from the user, printing out content. I mean, printing out an output with Python. So that's, I think that's what we basically what we'll be doing since the beginning of this challenge. So yeah, I'm going to comment this out. Don't forget how we comment out. We also look at how to comment out codes in our script. So yeah, I'm going to, that will be control forward slash. But if you're actually using Mac, that will be command. I think that will be command forward slash. I guess so. So yeah, thank you. So let's move forward. So here I have this question 8. I think that's question 8, I guess so. So here I have question 8 says ask for the total price of the bill. Then ask how many dinners they are. Ask how many dinners there are, right? Now divide the total bill by the numbers of dinners and show how much person must pay. I think this is very very cool. So this question is about when you eat, you have to pay your bill. So that is it. So it says how we should ask for the total price of bill. Now I think the knowledge on this what this is actually giving us is division. Yeah, that is division. That is how to divide a certain number with a number. So here we have to ask out the total numbers of what? The total numbers of the total amount of bill, price of bill in which the, let me say, maybe groups of people they actually order or takes in a seat or something like that. So here we have to ask for the total number of bill, then ask how many dinners the diners there are. That is how many numbers of people they actually what take partake in what partake in that dinner. Let's take like that. Then divide the total bill by the numbers of diners hours and show how much each person must pay. So here is that's very very simple. We can actually do something like this. That's by asking the user. Now maybe the user now would be the restaurant owner, or maybe the waiter. So here we can just say ask the waiter. Let's ask the waiter. Let's say waiter response. Waiter response. Waiter response will actually be equal to input. But is it input? Is a number. Is we have to say int. Thank you. So we are going to say int followed by this bracket. So there we are going to say input, then we're gonna say enter the total price. Total price. Now, the problem here is some people may want to write let me say $20,000, or some let me say $5,000. So let's be specific with our string here. Let's be specific. Let's just say enter the total price in number. Let me just say enter the total price in number, just number alone. I get it. So let's just put it like that. So here we have that the waiter response. Thank you. Now let's say numbers of what? Numbers of dinner. So that is total number of people that actually what partake in that dinner. So let's say number of dinner. Let me just say numbers of dinner, and let me just say thank you. Numbers of dinners will now be equal to what? It's still a number. We are actually requesting for numbers of what dinner. So it will be, because let it be get as what our response will be in form of a number. Are you getting it? So it will now be integer, then thank you, followed by inputs, followed by input, then followed by enter the total number of what? Of dinner. Thank you. Of diners, or any maybe dinner or diners. So here, what we actually want to do, I've actually earlier said before, that is what the basic principle of this one, the basic major what this challenge is actually bringing for us is how to divide using the arithmetic operation, not this arithmetic operation. So that will actually be our results, or yeah, our results will actually be, or should we say results, or let's just say payments, each payment, yes, each payment, thank you, let's say payment, that is, this will actually be payment by each of the what, each of the diners, that is each one of them. Maybe we have five of them, so each amount, each amount, the five of them we are going to pay. So let me say payment, amount paid. Actually, let's say amount paid. Let me put it like that. Let me say amount paid. Amount paid by each of them will now be equal to what? Will now be equal to waiter response. That is the total. Should we say total waiter response? Here I'm going to say total amount. Yeah, let me just say total amount. Sorry for that. I want us to get a good clue of what we are doing. So that will be total amount. Total amount. Total amount. Sorry. Total amount. Total amount. Total amount. Thank you. Then divided, total amount divided by what? Total amount divided by numbers of what? Of diners. That will actually give us what? That will give us the amount paid by each of what? Each of the diners. So here I can now say, we can now print it out. That is, print each what? Can just say each diners sorry, each diners we pay, diners we pay how much? We pay amounts paid. Do you understand? So it be amount paid. That is, the result we get from here, it's being stored inside this variable. So now the value of what, the division of the total amount by the numbers of diners will actually give us the amount of each amount in which each of the diners we actually what, we actually pay. So if I run this program, let me run the program. Can you see it actually asks me total, enter the total not price in number. So it will be something like, let me say we have 5,000, maybe 5,000 naira, $5,000. Here we are just requesting for the number alone. Thank you. So if I say enter, so it will actually ask us again, enter the number of diners. So maybe we have 10 diners, or let me say we have 4 diners. Should we say, let me just keep it simple. If I say 10 diners, then press enter, we have what? Now each diner we pay 500. 500. So let's make, so we can actually see that each of the diners pay an amount of money, and that's what the question is actually asking us to do. That is, Divide the total bill by the numbers of diners and show how much each diners must pay. So I think that's all for exercise 8. I mean challenge 8. And let's move to the next one, which says write a program that we ask for a numbers of days. And then we show how many hours, minutes, and seconds are there in that day. So here we actually want to ask the user to for a numbers of days. We want the user to enter a numbers of days. Now we want to help the user to calculate the total numbers of hours, total numbers of minutes, and total numbers of what of um of seconds in that day. Now I think that's very simple. I think that is actually this challenge, this question is actually testing our knowledge on arithmetic operation, because when we have let's take for example we have a day. Let me just say one day. Now how many hours is in a day? That's 24 hours. So now that's for just one day. How about if we have 2 days? That will be 24 hours multiplied by 2. Do you get it? How about if we have 5 days? That will be 24 hours. That's for hours. Multiplied by what? Multiplied by what they calling it? That's by 5. Now let's look at it like this. Now, what about minutes? Don't forget in 24 hours we have 60 minutes. Do you understand? So it will actually be like uh something like 60 24 hours multiplied by 60 to give us the numbers of minutes. Let's put it down so that we can actually understand what I actually mean by this. So here I'm going to comment this one out. I'm going to comment this one out. So here we want to enter the numbers of days. We want to ask the user to enter numbers of days they want to calculate. So they actually want to calculate the hours, the minutes, and the seconds. So here I'm going to say something like numbers of days. Yes, let me say number of days, number of days, numbers of days. Let me just put number of days because it may be one and it may be any number apart from one. So let me just say numbers of day equal to integer. Thank you. Integer, then followed by brackets. Then we have inputs. Integer inputs. That is, this one is to request for the numbers of days. So we have input. Then enter the number enter numbers of days you actually want to calculate the hours, the minutes, and seconds. So here we can say enter the numbers of day of days. So it can be day or it can be days. So it can be day or days. So here we have it like this. So the next thing now is to calculate the numbers of hours. Don't forget I said we have 24 hours in a day. Are you getting it? So here we can let's say let's give the variable name numbers of hour. Let's say numbers of hours, something like this. Thank you. Numbers of hours. Thank you. So equals to numbers of hour will actually be equal to numbers of days, then multiply it by 24. That is, if eventually we have a day, that means we are going to have just one multiplied by 60, multiplied by what? Multiplied by 24 what? Multiplied by 24 hours in a day. And that will give us 24. So the number of hours will be 24. So here that will be what? Number of hour will now be numbers of days, then multiply by what? Multiply by 24 because we only have 24 hours in a day. Yeah, do you get it? Now, what about to calculate the numbers of minutes? Numbers of minutes, number of minutes will actually be equal to numbers of days. Do you get it? Numbers of days multiplied by numbers of 20 because multiplied by 24, then multiplied by 60. Yeah, that's it. Because we have 24 hours in a day. Now each of the hours also have 60 minutes that makes up 1 hour. So here what we are going to do is we are going to say numbers of minutes will be equal to numbers of hours. Yeah, let it be numbers of hours multiply by what? Multiply by 60. Multiply by 60 in a day. Are you getting it? So that will be numbers of minutes. So now let's go to numbers of seconds. So number of seconds. Number of seconds will actually be equal to numbers of minutes. Thank you. Multiply it by what? How many seconds is in how many seconds is in a minute? That's 60 seconds. That's still the same 60 seconds. So we have what? 60 seconds in a what? In a minute. So that would be number of seconds will be numbers of minutes multiplied by what? 60 seconds. So now here let's run our program. So when we run this, we have it requests for the numbers of days. Let me say I have four, maybe 4 days. I want to calculate the numbers of hours, and to calculate the numbers of minutes, and I want to calculate the numbers of seconds. Sorry, we need to print out all these outputs. We need to print out the numbers of hours. So that will be print, then the numbers of what? Numbers of hours. Numbers of hours. That's print. We have actually printed the numbers of hour. Let's put it something like the total numbers of hour is that is string that's total numbers of hour. Let's say total number of hour, total number of hour. Then this should be followed by comma. Then we have comma separating it here. So here that's for numbers of hour. Now let's print number of minutes. So that will be total number of what? Of minutes. Of minutes. Abi? Yeah. Total number of minutes that's followed by comma, then numbers of what? Number of minutes. Thank you. Follow. Now the last one is what? Numbers of seconds. So we have print, then we have this. So total abi total number of what? Of seconds. This one will be total number of seconds, then followed by numbers of what? Numbers of seconds. That's it. So now if we run it, let's try to run it. Run it again. Run it again. It will actually see, let's say we have numbers of day to be 4. Then if you calculate it, then you can see it has actually give us. Let me raise this one up. Let me put this one up. So we have numbers of days is 24. Now it actually helps us to calculate the numbers of hours, which is what? 96 hours. Now that is, we can see that 24 multiplied by 24 will be what? 96. Now the numbers of minutes in 4 days is what? Is 5,760 minutes. While the numbers of seconds in a particular day is 1, 2, 3, that's 345,600. That's numbers of that's much. That's number of seconds in what? In 4 days. That's total numbers of seconds in 4 days. Total numbers of what? Total numbers of seconds in 4 days. So I think that question has actually been solved. Number nine have actually been solved. If you have any other question, please drop your question at the comment section, and please try to encourage me by subscribing into this channel, so that at least when I drop any video, when I drop any tutorial, you will be the first person to what? To be notified about the video or about the tutorial. So let's move forward. Let's move to the next question, which is number 10. So we have the next question here is number 10. The number 10 says, that's number 10. The next question says, there are 2,204 pounds in a kilo. Then ask the user to enter a weight in kilogram and convert it to what? To pounds. I love this. I love this program. Now this is just something like a converting a converter. Yes, just something like a converter. It's actually helping us, automatically helping us to what? To convert a value. Thank you. It's helping us to convert a value. So here He said we should actually enter a value in kilogram. Then when the user enter a value in kilogram, then we convert that kilogram to what? We convert it to pounds. Then we print it out in what? In pounds form. Are you getting it? So we have there are 2,204 pounds in a kilogram. That is, there are 2,204 pounds in a kilogram. Now ask the user to enter a weight in kilogram. Now I think that should be the first thing we should do. Let me comment all this out. Let me take this one out. Thank you, thank you. Let me take this one out. Thank you. So let me just put this one a little bit down. So yeah, so we have this. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So the next question says we should ask the user about the numbers of kilogram they actually want to convert. It's just like a converter, the converter program. So I'm going to say kilogram, kilogram. Thank you. So numbers of kilogram will actually be, it's a number, so it should be integer. Thank you. Followed by bracket. Then we should now say input. Thank you. Followed by what? Enter the number of what? Oh, enter the numbers of what? Of kilogram you want to convert. Enter the number of kilogram you want to convert. Enter the number of kilogram you want to convert. Thank you. So here, that's the user have actually entered the number of kilogram they want to convert. So the next thing is to what? Help the what they calling it, the user to convert their kilogram. Don't forget, they said, wait, in 1 kilogram we have one what? We have 2,200 and what? 2,204 pounds. In 1 kilogram we have 2,204 pounds. So that means what we are going to do here is going to be, we are going to have numbers of pounds. Numbers of pounds will actually be equal to what? Kilogram. Thank you. It will now be equal to kilogram. That is 1 kilogram. That is the value of kilogram the user actually entered, multiplied by what? By 2,204. Because 1 kilogram is equal to 2,204 what? 2,204 pounds. So what we actually want to do, we can actually give out the output and say something like print, print, uh, the what, how can we bring out the message? How can we bring out the output? So let's say the user have actually entered the numbers of kilogram. So the corresponding pounds is this. Let's just say the what? The corresponding the corresponding value in pounds is, yeah, let's put it like that. The corresponding value in pounds is what? That's is, then followed by comma, then what? Then numbers of what? Numbers of pounds. Thank you. So let's run this. When we run it, let me put this up. So when we run it said enter the numbers of kilogram you actually want to convert. So here I'm going to say I want to convert 10 what? 10 kilogram. I want to convert it to pounds. So here I have it this. So he said the corresponding value in pounds is what? Is That's 1, 2, 3. That's 22,000 and what? And 40 in what? In pounds. So can you see how cool and how simple all these challenges can be? So though they are not that, they actually, okay, should I say they are very simple? They're actually very simple, but please, you need to understand some logic before you can answer this program. So here I'm going to comment it out and move to the next question. I think this is the last question though. I guess this is the last question. So here I said we have number 11, the last task here. It says ask the user to enter a number. We want a number ask the user to enter a number over 100 and enter a number under 10 and tell them how many times the smaller number goes in larger number in what? In a friendly format. Okay, let's take that again. He said, ask the user to enter a number over 100. That is, we are going to ask the user to enter a number that is greater than what? Greater than 100. And then enter a number under 10. That is, we also ask the user to enter a number that is less than 10 and tell them how many times the smaller number goes in what to in the larger number in a friendly format. So I think let's get to that. So that would be something like this. So that would be, now what would I say? Let's call it larger number, or let's say larger number. So let's say larger number because the question says larger number. Let's say larger number is equal to, is a number, so that will be input, integer, then we have input, then we have enter, enter a number, greater than 100. Thank you. Enter a number greater than 100. So that's for the larger number. Now let's have a smaller number. Smaller number. Smaller number. We have something like this. Smaller number will be equal to integer. Then this we have what? We have input. Then we have this as enter a number. Enter a number. Enter a number. Uh, enter a number smaller, or let's say, let's just say smaller. Thank you. Or let's say less than 10, so that we can keep it, what? Keep it simple. Less than what? Less than 10. Thank you. Less than 10. So here we have the larger number, we have a smaller number. So next thing what we want to do is we actually want to give out give out, we want to do the arithmetic operation. So here I'm going to say result will now be equal to what? The larger number, because we actually want to divide the larger number by the what? We want to divide it by the smaller number and tell us and give out the how many times the numbers of at least times in which the smaller number goes in the bigger number. That will be larger number divided by what? Divided by the smaller number. So here I'm going to say print. You can now print it out in a friendly manner and say print prints the print q print mhm, the the smaller number goes in the goes in the, let's just put it like that, in the big not larger number in how many times now? That is numbers of time in what? In result time. In result, I'm going to say result what? Result times. Result times. So let's put it this like this. We need comma in this place. Thank you. So let's run this. Let's run it. Let's run this. Let me put this one up so that you can see very well. So it said enter a number greater than 100. Let me say 120. Thank you. Enter a number less than 10. Let me say 5. Yeah. So enter, we have this which says the number, the smaller number goes in the larger number in what? In 24 what? In 24 times. Do you understand? So that is the smaller number actually goes in what? In the bigger number in 24 times. Let's look at it very well. So here we have what? We have um we have the larger number. We are requesting for the larger number from the user. We store it in a variable called the larger number. We also have the smaller number. We are requesting for a smaller number less than 10. from the user, we actually store it as what? As smaller number too. You understand? So the result will actually be the larger number divided by what? Divided by the smaller number. So that will give us results. Then we print out our output and say the smaller number goes in the larger number in what? In results. And you see how we actually separate them by comma. Thank you. In result what? In result time. Are you getting it? In result time. Now look at this. I want you to take look at this. This one is division, right? In Python, we also have another type of division. We call it floor division. Let's try to run this. What's floor division? Floor division actually give us an exact numbers of time. Exact what? Exact numbers of time in which a number goes in what? In a particular number. It give us exact number of time. It doesn't give us like an extra. No, it doesn't give us the remaining. Let me say the remainder or something. For example, let me give you an example like this. So if I say naturally, if I say something like this, if I say 5 divided by 2, 5 divided by 2, this will actually give me something like it will give me 2.5. This should give me 2.5. You understand? But here I'm actually getting the numbers, total numbers of time. If 2 goes in 5, I don't need the number of remainder of what the remaining number or something. No, I don't need that. All I need is total numbers of time. It goes in what? Uh in what? In 5. All I need to do is what? Floor. Now I'm using a floor division. Here I have 5 floor divided by 2. It will actually give me what? 2. You understand? So that's the same logic we are going to use in this place. So by run, let's run this again. So if I say run this again and it will ask me enter the number greater than 10, greater than what? Greater than 100. Here I'm going to use something like 130. 130. Sorry, let me put this. I love putting it there. Let me run it again. Sorry, run it again. So we have enter a number greater than 10. Let me say 130. Thank you. Enter a number less than 10. So I will use 4 in this place. So if I run this, it's actually giving me this what smaller number goes in the larger number in 32 times. You can see here we have the numbers of time in which 4 only goes in 130. We don't care about the numbers of remainder. Even if it's 0 or 1 or no, we don't care. We only all we actually want is the numbers of time. This number goes in what? In a particular what? In a particular number. You understand? So I think by now you should be able to familiar with number, string, variable, comment, manipulation of strings, and a lot of what we've actually discussed for today. So thank you for your patience and thank you for your understanding for today's class. So what I think for this series, so I think what we before my next before the next challenge, please I want you to go through this very well and bring up anything you think you feel you don't really understand in this challenge. You understand? So I say thank you. Next challenge will actually be on if statement. If statement. I actually have a tutorial about if statement. You can watch that before the next challenge. So thank you and God bless you.